Just us.
No, there's Gerard, Sumatra, and Bois. No, the small one. Okay, get them. So, okay, just jujur tera Roberta atas kiri diri saya Roberta jadi kaman di
I'm giving you the benefit. Please. Okay.
I've updated that.
Thank you, boss.
We're back just now. Okay, this chart as well. Okay, recording this, right?
Yeah. When to get another phone. Everybody do my homework?
Yeah.
Are you saying yes for everyone?
Yes.
Or are you saying yes for yourself?
For myself.
Huh? For yourself. Okay, tell us a little bit about what you found out about the homework.
Um, okay, so you gave us homework to find out how are you going to add value.
No, not that one. There's one word I asked you to look at.
Kaizen.
Oh yeah, I also did.
Yeah, so let's focus on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I found out.
Yes.
Did you say Kaizen or Kaizen?
Kaizen.
Okay, so Kaizen is a compound of two Japanese words
Mhm.
that together translate as good change or improvement. So it is an approach to creating continuous improvement based on a small idea. Yeah. So there are principles. I'm sure.
Continuous improvement from a small idea. Hilda, what do you have? Kaizen.
Let's see, continuous improvement.
Did you write anything down?
No, I did not.
Just Google.
Uh,
You're not the type to just Google and not write things down. So you didn't do my homework. Briefly. Okay. In your own words, what did you find?
It's like it's a Japanese word to meaning that continuous improvement being better like each time.
Mhm.
So that definition is to that they're improving. Even though you necessarily get it right 100% the first time, it's like you must always be better at each stage
Okay.
and continue to improve. That way at least you're winning even though you're not completing the task necessarily.
Okay. Actually, you have to complete the task, but even if you don't do well, right, the next time you encounter the same task, you have to do better than you did before. Okay? Completeness of tasks is very, very, very important. Right?
Growth. Yeah.
It's the same as ours.
Can't be the same as hers. It's not from 5 anymore, man. You're in high school anymore. You can't just say, I had the same idea.
No, like I searched it, then I wrote the definition she just said on my notepad.
Okay, what else did you write?
That's as far as I went.
So you only wrote the definition.
Yeah, I just wrote. But the results I got from the page.
Did you bring your notepad that you wrote on?
It's on my phone.
Get it. Sim?
Besides the definition, I saw an article that spoke about how Toyota got to dominate the motor industry using the similar principle.
So it's actually their principle. They're the ones that actually created the Kaizen principle. How, practically speaking, is there places where you've seen this principle being applied? School, perhaps. By whom in school? Students. Okay. Okay. Some, I guess. Not all. Yeah. All right. Any other place?
Uh, I don't think it happens intentionally in most cases.
It happens very intentionally. Because if it's a principle, right? The principle of continuous improvement, then you sit down and you say, all right, we're gonna go through these processes, right? And every time we're at the end of a process and we go through this process again, it has to be better. It's a conscious decision. And with Toyota, because remember they had the manufacturing lines for vehicles, right? So every car, every car that's going out, every car that's going on, you're looking at everything that took to put that car out. And you're saying we want to improve it with the next batch, the next batch, and the next batch. Okay? So it's very conscious.
Not in terms of Kaizen, just like the principle has been applied, but the people do not necessarily refer to it as that, or it's just embedded in whatever they're doing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, maybe. But remember, there's certain principles of Kaizen, right? Right? You wrote them down, right?
Yes, 10 principles.
The 10 principles of Kaizen. Just give them to us real quick.
All right. The first one, letting go of assumptions. Be proactive about solving problems. Let go of perfectionism. Look for solutions as you find mistakes. Create an environment in which everyone feels empowered to contribute. Don't accept the obvious issue. Instead, ask multiple times to know the root cause. How information and opinions from multiple people. Use creativity to find low cost and small improvements. And never stop improving.
Perfect. Level, I want you to type those out, right?
Okay.
Those 10 principles, and I want you to put them in the teleradio group. Yeah. Because I think good. All right. Because I think those are very practical things that we can apply, in our environment, not just here, but everywhere. And I still struggle with some of the principles. Like I still have a problem letting go of assumptions. I assumed, Omatla would know, to remind me to say, oh, we had agreed to do this on this time, just in case you forgot X, Y, Z, right? So, but what we do is, I we improve continuously, isn't it? And we put people in a comfortable position in which they feel part of the group. And I feel by myself, by saying, you know what, I'll give you the benefit, right? I'm saying it might be my fault, isn't it? So we move forward. Okay, so please type those out, put them in the group, right? So that at least we can learn from that. And if you look at teleradio from when your journey started, for you guys who've been here from pretty much from the beginning, would you say we've applied this principle?
Sorry?
Would you say we've applied the Kaizen principle within our establishment?
No.
Or would you say no?
I honestly feel like we're still in the same way. We only brainstorm, we don't implement.
So would you say then being in this room is by accident? Being in this
No.
establishment here is by accident?
No.
Okay, so then how did we get here?
Okay, is this an improvement to you?
It's not?
Well, regarding the teleradio, no. Moving places, yes, but not teleradio. This is not ad or.
Remember,
I feel
Kaizen-
teleradio is YouTube, right? That's where we at.
Not necessarily. Teleradio, what YouTube is the end product of the entire chain.
Yeah, but that's what we are known of. Somebody says, I want to see, where do they go? What you guys do? They go to YouTube. Coming here is just coming here, but what do you guys do there?
When we get guests coming to teleradio, would you say they take it for granted?
The building itself.
The building, the cameras, the microphone. Would you say they take it for granted? The process?
No, but the end product, like you're saying, is the one that matters, right? What do you do with those mics?
Like I said, Kaizen doesn't talk about the end product.
Okay.
Kaizen says,
Okay, but you were asking me what do I think? That's what I
yeah,
think.
we're having a
Yeah.
discussion, right? So
Yeah.
we
No,
bring
I
back
don't
and
think
forth.
this has been an
Yes.
improvement.
So Kaizen says, and this is what I'm trying to tell you in terms of the principle of Kaizen. It says, don't worry about the end goal. Think about the process. If you improve the process, the end goal will be a no-brainer.
Okay.
Kaizen says, make small improvement at every step of the way. Look at every single piece of the puzzle and see how you can add value to it and how you can improve it. That's what Kaizen says. If you do that, then pretty much success is guaranteed. That's what Kaizen says. I mean, that's how you feel. You feel this is not an improvement. I mean, you're entitled to that. That's cool. Slim, what do you think?
Well, yeah, yeah, there has been improvements from since we started.
You cut off your dreads.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's my approachable now, you know, second, not on the government offices. But yeah, we, in as much as maybe it's not where like the end product that we, you know, probably anticipate or specifically comparatively to, you know, whatever. However, in the whole journey, we have improved from using one camera, the way the news is done. It's just there's just a lot of small bits and pieces.
That's right. Like what we call micro improvements.
Micro improvements.
Yeah.
Your banners is no longer the square banner that's stood in and you can see people behind and feel the screen and you put another animated one. It's just continuous. Today we're doing the green screens of the news, so it's just like, you know, so it's not like one big bang you can see, but small.
Level? From when you started, would you say it's been improving? I agree. You guys came to the Tele radio last year.
Everything was there, so
I'm saying like last year. You passed by Tele radio last year. Remember?
yeah.
What changed?
I really don't know. I
You
don't see any improvement yet.
You don't see any improvement yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say the involving of school children in the Tele radio process is an improvement? Having them come and be part of Tele radio during the day.
I don't know. I think that I would just say they're entitled to do
They're
that.
entitled to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. So what I'm trying to get at is, like Slim is saying, there's the overall picture, right? It's the overall picture, and then there's small, just like an image is made up of pixels, right? It's a combination of little dots, And while if a pixel is missing, the untrained eye might not notice. A technical person will say, no, something is wrong there. And they'll be able to pick to say, no, see that dot there? It's supposed to be something in there. All right? We have to, for us, right, from within, on the technical aspect, we have to get to a point where we're able to pick those small things, right? Those small cogs to say, okay, for us to get here, what do we need to do? And you create as many steps as you want. And you say, all right, cool. How can I ensure every day I had 1% improvement to each one of these steps? Whether it's camera, audio levels, green screen, whether it's moving to a bigger space, whether it's adding free advertising to certain companies so that we can put ourselves out there better. All of that. In all those little spaces that you create, and you have to find those spaces. You have to say, okay, here's a space I've created. How do I fill it up? I'll give you an example. When we started, we only used one webcam. Literally, we had everybody sitting, and then one webcam across, and it captured the entire room, right? and we had our connections were quite messy. You know, was really messy. Like it's really bad. And I thought, okay, I know I have a friend who's an audio engineer. Can you come in and just have a look and see, and help us out just to see what we need to improve on? And he came in and he said, you guys have everything you need. You just need to figure out how to connect the stuff properly. All right, he helped us out. And then I had cameras that were just lying there. And I fought and I said, because the school didn't want to use the cameras, I said, it's fine. If you want to take it as a loan, take it as a loan. But I'm not just going to have cameras and have them gathering dust when there's a place that I know would benefit from using them. And the thinking was, if the powers that be see the improvement, they might want to invest in the same things that they're looking at. All right? So it's a small thing. It might even seem like a negative thing, because it's like, Eddie, why are you giving up your cameras and you're not charging anybody? What if they break and everything? But it's a small improvement, right? That will allow certain people to see the bigger picture and to make good decisions. All right? The move here, for me, it's a huge improvement, because it means people believe that we can be more than we were last year, right? But of course, even within the move, we have to find our pockets, right? Find our spaces, and find ways to improve on those. Whether you guys, Mr. Ian was talking about setting up a camera here for 5 minutes every day and just unpack some memes that are dropping on social media, or talk about certain things in the news that don't make sense, And doing that, for example, means just utilizing the space that we have, which is our working space, to create something interesting. It's a small improvement, but you never know where it's going to end up. Okay? Now, technology, right? Let's talk technology for a little bit. What do you understand technology to be? Just practical, simple answer.
An equipment which is brought forth to improve our lives.
Equipment which is brought forth to improve our life. I like that. What?
I don't have a specific definition for now.
Hilda?
I think that's supposed to be our lives much easier,
Things,
much more efficient.
efficiency. I like that. Well,
A mode of task assistance.
a mode of task assistance. I like that. Level?
I would say technology is the same as for math. It's equipment used to make our lives better.
Slim?
Yes, a tool or equipment that is made to improve human life.
Tool?
Technology, I'd say. It's just to make humans lazy.
Remember, I was about to tell you.
Yeah,
Remember,
everything.
keep your feet on the ground,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I'm a very simple person,
Yeah.
right? So I don't do grandiose answers. Just let me ask you a question before I go to Gerard. You were using that paper to find yourself. Do you consider it technology? Given the definitions we've heard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because you're high, you're sweating, and it's working, right?
Yeah.
It's making you feel better, right?
Yeah.
Making your life a little bit softer, right?
Right.
There we go. Technology, right? And I like that everyone I asked didn't talk about computers or cell phones, cameras. They talked about equipment and tools, and how they make our lives better and how they make processes more efficient. I like that very much. Gerard, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are positive.
That's good. Always, always. What are your thoughts on technology and what they are and what they do?
My thoughts on technology is that technology is these are creations or these are man-made creations made to wait. I don't know.
Remember what I said?
These are man-made creations used to make mankind easier.
Yeah, okay. Should write that down. Would you say your mask is technology right now?
Yes.
No. Slim? Is your mask technology right now? Look at your mask and Boaho's mask.
Oh.
And look at Tuo's mask.
Yeah, I really meant.
And look at Hilda's mask right now. And look at Level's mask. Would you would you say it's technology right now?
Yes, but it was meant to prevent something to make my life extra long, but can also be an inconvenience.
So, what I'm trying to get at is technology can be misused, right? Yeah, you can. Someone who doesn't know how to use it, like if you give a child a microphone, he's probably going to bang it against the floor, right? Because it doesn't know what its use is, right? If I give you guys a scalpel, right, and you don't know what a scalpel is, you might end up cutting yourself if you don't know what it is. So technology can be misused as well, especially if you don't know what it's for, right?
Yeah.
And adding up to what we spoke about yesterday, right? About self-discovery, about purpose, right? Technology will help you find your purpose, right? Because everything that's around you, right, is there to make your life better. There is nothing on this planet, nothing at all, that is created or made or that exists to make your life worse. Everything. And funny enough, even the most rudimentary of animals know that. A chimpanzee will cut a banana leaf off a tree and cover itself with it when it rains. It might only cover the head, but hey, it gets the job done, right? The first human beings that invented the wheel, or that invented that figured out that there's a certain stone that you can use to crack open a nut. That was technology. Fire burns, but when it was created, it was something that was used for good, right? And still can. So technology is there to make your life better if you know how to use it. Everything from your mask to your cell phone, to your Gmail address, to your Google Drive account. If you know how to use it, it will make your life better. So then, what's the key? What is the key to all of that? What's the focal point? What's the most important part of the puzzle? Yeah? How? Remember, guys, the answer is right there.
The key to technology.
To all of it, to purpose, to technology, to learn, to using it, and to knowing how to use it. What's the key?
Like acknowledging its existence.
Acknowledging its existence, yes, and then?
It's there to improve your life.
No, yes, and?
Utilizing it for self-improvement and the benefit of others.
Remember I said, if you give a baby a microphone, what is it going to do to the microphone?
Destroy it.
You remember in the baby's mind, it's doing the most. It's like This thing is doing it for me. I love it. My life is better. You are saying it's going to destroy it. Why? Because you know what a microphone is meant for, right? What's the difference between you and the baby?
My mind is mature.
No. You can have a mature mind and still not know what a microphone does.
I have knowledge of what it's.
Huh. How did you come about that knowledge?
I learned.
Perfect. Remember, guys, I said my answers are always here. Learning is the key. And if you know your purpose, you know where you're going, you know what you want to achieve. Even if remember, we're talking about small pockets, right? Micro goals, right? Even if it's a small thing like, man, I shot a video on my phone. I want to put it on Facebook, right? You're gonna want to learn how to do it. You're gonna be like, okay, so how do I add background music to my video? Oh, it's a bit dark. How do I make it lighter? Oh, my face is oily. How do I make it seem like it's a little bit dry? Right? I don't like this part. How do I cut out this little piece here so that I can remove it? Right? You learn. Okay? There's nothing wrong with learning. Learning is a lifelong process, and it will always work in your favor. For as long as you know your purpose, always work in your favor. The only people who who will lose from learning are people, bank robbers and criminals and whatnot who want to learn how to make bombs and everything. Feel me? But for as long as you know your purpose, you know why you're here, and I don't just mean Tele radio here, I mean here on this planet, you'll always win. And why I wanted to make this workshop a little bit different and just make it like more or less like a conversation is because we look at, we watch TV, right? TV is part of technology. We watch TV and we see a lot of things. And a lot of what we see, right, makes us think that, oh man, that person out there has it easy. Ah, look at them, they're driving a fast car. Or, man, look at them, they just made another $1 million. Or look at them, they're the most famous person in the world, right? And most of the time we strive for those things. People telling you, when you heard Hani yesterday saying she wants to live the soft life. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But understand that that person that you see sacrificed something huge to get there, right? Huge to get there. And they had to dedicate thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of learning, of repeating. I think Jay-Z said something like, if you want to know something, I think he said something like you have to repeat it about, I think he said 1,500 times or something like that. Okay? A single thing, if you want to learn a single concept, you have to repeat it over and over and over again. Right? And that's also part of learning, right? Because in school, that's pretty much what you do. You repeat concepts until they're hardwired in your brain, right? So now learning, especially purposeful learning, you find out that hard work is easy. Hard work is fun because in your micro projects, in your little spaces that you create, every time you finish and you look at the end product, right? Every time you close off an item, you're happy because you started somewhere, you went through the struggle of learning, of retrying, of making mistakes, of correcting them, and in the end, you had a finished product. And remember, Kaizen is not about the end product. It's about the process. So you might create a car and the door doesn't close. Try to close the door and it's not closing. Oh man, what happened? Right? What Kaizen says is when that happens, start again from the beginning. Dismantle the whole thing. Start over until you get it right. You don't get it right, start over until you get it right. And of course, with every restart, there's going to be negatives, right? It's just like with every test, you might get 20% today, 25% tomorrow, and 30%. You're still failing, right? But what's happening? You're improving. And then you get 40, and oh my goodness, I got 51. You feel me? Who do you think is happier? The person who gets 25% to 51%, or the person who gets from 99% to 85%? The what? The number one. Person, you think so?
No, I'm saying person number one.
Person number one, yeah. And again, in life, that's how you see the people who seem to be winning somehow seem to be the most miserable. And the person who's just able to feed their families every day is the one who smiles from ear to ear. You feel me? Some of you guys want to win at all costs and you want to keep winning, and there's nothing wrong with that, and we need that here. We need people who want to win, right? And that's the correct attitude. You have to have a winning attitude, a winning mentality. But don't forget that at the end of the day, we're all just still human. What did Kanye West's mom say?
A giant is not a giant in the mirror, something like that. A giant can't see itself in the mirror.
The giant sees nothing in the mirror.
The giant looks in the mirror and sees
It's
nothing.
nothing.
All right. So you might having a winning mentality is perfect. But remember, I also like to say, no matter how short you are, no matter how tall you are, your feet still touch the ground. So remember that we are all human beings. All right. So if you have a winning mentality, that's a strength to assist those that don't necessarily understand what winning is. You know, you get teams in football, slim guys who watch football, that just can't seem to win. Like they play. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like last season, Arsenal just couldn't seem to win. Like perfect football, no victories, and then Man United, with a horrible team, just found a way to win. And remember, it's not about, at the end of the day, some of these competitions, and actually even in life, the way we're set up, right? We don't look at successes in terms of processes, and that's where you're right, Toy. In life, we don't look at successes in terms of processes. We look at successes in terms of the end product. We can be the most efficient tele radio station in the world. If we don't have that millionth follower, we're nothing in the eyes of the world, right? But what I'm going to say in closing is, for us, it really isn't about the world. It's about where we are here, right? Because we are not judged. Our employers don't judge us by the millionth subscriber. We are judged on processes, on our abilities to complete tasks, on our abilities to continuously improve. If you can go from making 10 mistakes to making 9, it's an improvement. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If you can go from completing a task in 3 days to completing it in 2 days and 23 hours, it's an improvement. Be proud of it. Okay, guys? That's what this is all about. Everything, and I'll never stop saying that, everything that is here is for you to make yourselves better. If you just have the right attitude, if you understand that hard work is easy and it's fun, and if you apply yourselves to whatever small projects you have going on, at some point we're going to be having days where I say, okay, guys, let's just go outside and act a fool. right? Let's just go out and act a fool, do whatever, right? We're gonna have those days because completing a project is not just about work; it's also about self-fulfillment. So I'll tell you now, everything you do, just do it to the fullest. Have a beginning, have an end, have a closing, have someone that you share that project with, right? If you're making a new beat, right, Gerard, making a new beat, you start, you finish, you say, yo, Tua, I made a beat. What do you think? Oh, yeah, Slim, can we use this beat as a backing track on one of the shows? You know what? It might not go anywhere, but you completed it and it was used. If you wrote a piece of poetry, oh, who's got a good voice who might want to recite this piece?
No.
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
So all of those things count. I know a lot of people look, oh, Mr. Eddie A, Mr. Eddie B, Mr. Eddie C, Mr. Eddie D. Yes, Mr. Eddie A to Z, because Mr. Eddie learns. Learns. I learn every day. When I'm in my car, I mean, Tori will tell you, like even he'll tell you, when I'm in my car, I'm watching YouTube videos about what's happening in Ukraine. 2 weeks before Russia invades. I'm watching video about the greatest video game cheater in history. Why? Because I'm learning. Every chance I get. Free time is not free. If you know, there's free time and there's waste of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Free time is your free time, do your thing for a positive end. Wasting time is thinking, oh, I have a gap between 12:30 and 1. Let me just sit around and do nothing. All right. So we're supposed to restart next week because we're only given this week to do these workshops, right? You guys have the rest of the day, you have the weekend. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. That's your time, right? It's your time. No one will ever ask you to do anything during those times. But I learned how to use my cameras on Saturdays and Sundays. I learned how to use my microphones on Saturdays and Sundays. I learned how to write emails and how to send Instagram messages to potential interviewees on Saturdays and Sundays. I learned how to make money on Saturdays and Sundays. And I even work. When I go out, I don't drink. So me going out has nothing to do with alcohol. But I go out because every Saturday and Sunday, I get to tell one more person about what I do. And every other person I tell, I learn how to tell that story better. Remember, repetition, eh? So practice. If you want to learn how to be a better salesman, remember we're selling, as our bosses say, we're selling seats, right? If you want to learn how to be a better salesman, practice. Every person, oh, I work at the Dow Academy. This is what I do. This is the goal of what we do, and this is what we hope it does for our country and for the world in the future. Did you do a good job? Yes, no? Okay. Next person, let's do it again. Before long, you'll find that it's such a seamless process. Like you have a conversation, you just find yourself talking about what you do. And you find a way to rope in your specific technical aspects. Then all of a sudden, someone is calling you saying, oh, by the way, I needed this and that done. Do you think you can assist? Oh, great. Yeah. But without learning, without trying, without taking a few risks, without sacrificing some of your time, it's gonna be a hard road. Okay? I think it's 5 minutes to 3. Are there any questions or comments at this juncture?
No.
None for you? None from you? Okay.
No.
Paul?
No.
Good. So what are we going to do going forward?
Regarding
Everything I just spoke about. Call to action. What are we gonna do?
in general or individually.
I'm asking you. I'm not asking you. I'm asking. Am I looking at you?
Realize the importance of free time and use it to your benefit and self-improvement.
Yeah.
Can you go on and come back?
Good.
Continue to struggle better.
See through tasks.
See through tasks. Very good. I'm with you.
I think that we should start.
I. Yes.
What's that?
Go ahead.
I think that we should.
You think that you?
I should.
Okay, I think that I
Uh-huh.
should start applying the K
Mhm.
principles
Okay.
either here or
Or elsewhere. Yes, please. Remember, just type them out. Huh?
Yeah.
Don't take a picture. Type. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Sometimes I find myself, because I go to the UB library a lot just to read. And I'll be reading, right? And sometimes I'll be taking notes. And I see someone who's studying on their laptop, right? And because, they don't have internet in their room, so they get internet from the library. And then they'll take a picture of what is on their laptop screen. I'm like, okay. At some point, that made sense, right? Because it's on your phone. Okay, cool. But you do know if you have a web page open, you can actually save that web page as a PDF, and you have your the entire content that you're looking for, rather than going page 1, picture, page 2, picture.
What is a drive?
What do you mean? The drive, which drive?
Like the
That's
exam.
an exam.
Oh, you think so? Nah,
You can't get a laptop.
guys,
You can't get
guys, well, maybe, but if you use that as a drive, you're going to fail. Because once that question comes, you won't know what is where and how. Rona, I'll give you. We can kill the stream now. Thank you very much. Let's kill it. We're gonna have a conversation.